Hey guys, Joe here, and I didn't know what I was going to talk about today until I stopped to put fuel in the rental car. And it's something that's prevalent, and I've seen it a few times, and it's a little weirding me out because cars nowadays, they need to be able to go long distances on not a lot of fuel, and I get that. So everything's touted as being very fuel efficient, 30, 80, 90, 100 miles per gallon. And that's fine, good for you, have a great day with it. But they're also putting in smaller and smaller fuel tanks in these things. Like this thing I'm driving right now, it's a mid-sized car, but it has a 14-gallon tank. I'm assuming it only took 12 gallons and there was still fuel in it. But that's really not big enough for a mid-sized car. I mean, my Mustang has a 16-gallon tank. Granted, my Mustang's a V8, but that shouldn't matter. They should be able to put a 16 or an 18-gallon tank into a vehicle of this size because a gallon of fuel is not really that big. I mean, go grab a gallon of milk out of your refrigerator. But also think about it this way. The gas tank is stacked or laid flat. So when you do that, you don't have to worry about vertical space. It's more horizontal space. So I think I would rather sacrifice a half a cubic foot of rear storage space in the trunk or under the back seat than I would 100 miles of range. So that seems a little bit weird to me. Why so many vehicles? It was worse in that Jeep Compass I was driving because that probably only had a 13-gallon tank because it took 11.5 gallons with the light on. So that is even worse because that's a bigger CUV, and it didn't even get that great of gas mileage. I've got this one because of the way I drive, you know, as a normal person, up to 28.5 miles to the gallon. When I originally picked it up, it was doing like 22 miles a gallon. So that means somebody was caning the crap out of this thing. But at 28 miles per gallon, let's say 30 miles per gallon, this vehicle before the light comes on is only going to get about 350 miles. And that's really just not enough in my opinion. It really should be getting over 400 realistically before the light comes on. And if not just for convenience, just because it allows you to go further. I've taken long trips to Connecticut and my father's Chrysler 200, and I keep referencing that because it was the predecessor to this one, with him driving anyways, gets an average of 34 miles to the gallon with a 290 horsepower V6. But it also, I believe, has a 16-gallon fuel tank because it will make the drive from Winchester, Virginia to Meriden, Connecticut on one tank. And that's a distance of 429 miles, and it still has some range left. So at 33 miles to the gallon, that means he's using 14 gallons. So he has to have at least a 16-gallon tank in his vehicle, and that allows him to go a little bit further, which is what I would want. I mean, realistically, ideally, I'd want to go at least 500 miles per tank. That would make me happy. Now, of course, I know what you guys are all saying. Well, get a Volt. Get something that's a hybrid. You'll get better gas mileage. And that's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is a larger tank. But let's face it, I bought a V8 sports car when gasoline, 93 octane in Virginia, was $4.10 a gallon. And it spiked here. I was paying $4.93, I think, for 93 octane, or 494, something like that. And I didn't care. When I buy a vehicle, I don't really care about the gas mileage. I don't. That's the least of my concerns when I personally buy a car. If that's the only concern I have, then yes, I would start looking at vehicles like the Prius or a Malibu hybrid or a Fusion hybrid or public transportation. I don't know. I don't really care. All I know is I put in fuel, I drive the car, I refill the car. So what I want is to have, sorry about my hand, I'm trying to keep you guys from shaking. What I want is a vehicle that goes a long distance between fill-ups. Be that the size of the tank or the fuel economy, I don't care. But I want distance, don't care about mileage. I've always been that way. Even when I was younger working for the used car place, I didn't care. And don't forget, I have a 55-mile drive each way, so you'd think I would care, but I really don't. I want comfort, I want style, I want speed, and I want distance. Anyway, that's about it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs down. Don't give me a thumbs down. I'm tired of saying that. Just give me a thumbs up. Thumbs downs are for weenies. Don't be a weenie unless your name is Oscar Mayer. Then just be baloney. So until the next time we have words conversing between me and the camera, which will eventually get to your noise receptors, I will talk to you guys later. Did he say distance one more time? Only if he goes the distance, Jim. Ah, that's a wonderful pun, you bastard.